Hi, I'm Nerida Conway, and I'd love to introduce you to this beautiful woman sitting beside me, Susie Beville. And Susie is the business owner of MyFitBody. Now, the reason I really wanted you to meet Susie was because we get a lot of emails all the time from people asking us about food allergies and things like that. So very commonly, I can't eat dairy, I can't have gluten, unbelievably common these days, and sometimes a combination of other things as well. And when I met you, I was fascinated by how gorgeous you are, but also how you help people to be healthy and be a healthy weight without so much focusing on time poor things like hours and hours and hours of grueling exercise, because most of it is diet. I was fascinated to find out.
Food is probably 95% of your weight loss, your weight management and your energy levels. Probably 5% exercise. If we take 168 hours in our week, 5% of 168 hours is actually 8 hours, and we only need between 5 and 7 hours of exercise a week. So it's about 95-97% what you eat. We really are what you eat.
And so with that in mind, I was fascinated to know that Susie, believe it or not, loves food. You'd never know because there's nothing of you.
I adore food.
You're an amazing cook, and what's more is that Susie cooks without any gluten or without any dairy. And I mean, I must say, when I first heard that, I thought to myself, so everything must taste like cardboard, everything must be really bland and boring, because I think my bottom is made of cheese. So for you, it's not that you're allergic, you've just chosen to not eat dairy and gluten.
Correct. I actually say dairy and wheat.
Dairy and wheat.
Gluten's quite confusing. There is gluten in products that we do use. They just react a little bit differently to the gluten. So we're predominantly wheat and dairy free. I believe in consistency and moderation. If you do something 100%, you have to keep it up for the rest of your life. So we kind of say do it 75 to 85%. Do it in moderation. You need to live this for the rest of your life. It's a lifestyle choice. If you do it less than 75 to 85%, say 65%, your weight loss is slower, your weight management is more difficult. So the 75 to 85%, get the wheat and dairy out of your diet, allow yourself what you would like to eat when you'd like to eat it. Your body reacts a certain way when you have eaten it.
And it's almost a bit like an Asian villager's diet, isn't it? Where they sort of hunt and gather and everything's fresh. And that's best.
That's right. It's quite funny. We always say, why not look to the healthiest nation on earth? I tend to look to the Japanese. I don't cook Japanese all the time or Asian influenced all the time. However, if you look at the generation of Japanese women particularly, not so much the second and third generation who are much more westernized.
And have discovered McDonald's.
Western ways of eating and everything else that's not as healthy as they used to be. The older generation, a lot less cancers, they're healthier, they live longer, and they live on pretty much a staple diet of rice and fish and poultry, fabulous fresh things that you can pick and cook. Green vegetables, much less wheat and dairy in the Asian diet. So why not look to someone who is living a long, healthy life and try and emulate them as much as possible, taking into consideration we live a very different lifestyle and we need to be happy with what we're eating and around our friends and our colleagues.
So what would you replace with the common things that I eat a lot of? Bread, pasta, I mean, this is not news to you. Obviously, rice is okay. Cheesy mac, for example. What would we do without cheesy mac? But obviously, you don't have cheesy mac.
We don't have cheesy mac. We don't have the dairy and the wheat in cheese and pasta. The most commonly asked question I get is, how am I supposed to do this? How am I supposed to live without bread and pasta? Well, you can have breads. You can have lots of different varieties of gluten-free breads. There's probably about 50 out there in the last 5-6 years or so.
And they're getting better because I've had some dodgy ones in the past.
I've had some really dodgy ones and still sometimes do. It's a matter of finding out the ones that you like.
And the brands you like.
And the brands you like. You can buy them pretty much anywhere, and almost every single cafe anywhere will stock a gluten-free bread. As far as pasta goes, we have rice noodles, we have brown rice pastas. I just experimented on the weekend and made my own gluten-free gnocchi.
Wow.
From potato and rice flour, which was fabulous.
Yeah, that would be great.
There are lots of different options. It's not a matter of taking the wheat and dairy out of your diet and not substituting it with anything. It's a matter of taking the wheat and dairy out of your diet and putting something fabulous in there.
Yeah.
So at each and every meal, you're having some kind of carbohydrate, some kind of protein, and you're really enjoying what you're eating, the tastes, the textures, and the amount of food that you're eating as well.
Well, that is really exciting, and you're about to whip up a recipe for us. Gluten-free, dairy-free, taste-packed. And I'm really excited about it because I've got to say I've got several different friends, one girlfriend in particular who's allergic to everything. She really gets in a terrible state if she eats any gluten or any dairy. And I do sometimes think, gosh, I just don't really know what to make her for dinner. And I want to be able to sort of lay something on beautifully for her. So I'm going to actually watch your recipe with great enjoyment and then whip it up myself for her.
Oh, please do. I'm really excited to be doing this. This is for anybody that wants to eat wheat and dairy free, not just for people who can't eat wheat and dairy free.
Exactly.
In fact, most of my clients, most of the people I deal with, are able to eat wheat and dairy. They don't realise what it does to them. What is fantastic about this, it correlates from the people who can eat wheat and dairy to the people who can't.
Yeah.
I'm not as stringent as some celiacs are.
Yeah.
However, you can take any of my recipes, any of the food that I make, and make it as stringent as you need it to be for yourself.
Yeah. Fantastic. All right, well, can we get you into the kitchen now?
Sure, yeah.
Well, we're in the kitchen.
We're in the kitchen. Let's get cooking.
Thanks, Susie.
Thanks, Nerida.